All right, welcome everyone. This is the Wednesday, January 21st Board of Commissioners meeting. We all rise for invocation and pledge of allegiance. Commissioner DeRosa, please.
Bow our heads. Our Father God, we thank you and praise you, Lord. Father, we thank you that you brought us here tonight to conduct the business of the county. And Lord, we pray for your guidance and your wisdom in doing so. Father, we just thank you for those that could be here tonight in spite of the weather and the roads, Lord. And we pray for those people in our county that are still a little snowed in, Lord, that you just keep them safe and warm. Father, again, we thank you for this time that we're here, and we pray that we are serving you and glorifying your name, Father. We lift this all up in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Shaver.
Here.
Commissioner Arndt.
Here.
Commissioner Peak.
Here.
Commissioner Haskell.
Here.
Commissioner Pearl-Wright.
Here.
Commissioner Whitaker.
Here.
Commissioner Moudry.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Drosha.
Here.
Commissioner Toomey.
Here.
Commissioner Hanson.
Here.
Commissioner Christensen.
Here.
Commissioner Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Barber.
Here.
Chairman Mott.
Here. All right, that brings us to agenda, additions and changes. Are there any additions or changes?
There's one addition. It's item C, Ways and Means Committee 7, Healthcare Savings Program Letter of Agreement.
Move the agenda as amended.
Support. Been moved by Commissioner Haskell and supported by Commissioner Moudry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, in your packet, there are, I believe, about 3 communications. Okay, minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Who moved it? Commissioner? Okay, Commissioner Arndt. Moved by Commissioner Arndt, supported by Commissioner Pearl-Wright. All those in favor? Oh,
Aye.
all those opposed?
There's one in the minutes that says the motion was carried and failed both. It should be motion failed. On page 4 of the packet, 4 of 96.
I can get that changed.
You said page 4 of 96?
4 of 96 in our packet.
Okay.
The one Commissioner Toomey moved. And at the end, it says motion carried on file and motion failed is actually motion
Okay,
failed.
good catch.
Thank you. I'll correct that. Thank you.
We have a motion to, do we need to have a motion to approve the amended? No?
I mean, you can just do it as a friendly amendment with that correction.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right. All right, that brings us to limited public comment. Is there anyone that would like to approach the podium? And if we can keep it to 3 minutes, appreciate it.
Good evening, Chair Mott, Commissioners. I believe you probably got an email from me a couple days ago. I just wanted to bring it up here just to freshen your mind. I believe there may have been an OMA violation during the organizational meeting, more specifically during the Committee of Committees meeting. And I just, again, wanted to bring that up. One of the things I did forget to mention is it'd probably be a good idea to get that resolved and then get the subsequent decisions reenacted so it's in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. But that's all I wanted to say, just so it's out there, just in case anyone forgot, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yeah, if you want to approach the podium, please. If you can keep it to 3 minutes, appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Sorry for getting here right at this time, but as you know, the roads are bad. I'm here today. I am a resident of Delta Township, and my name is Crystal Perry. And I'm here to talk about a situation that occurred at my home. This occurred Wednesday, December 17th, 2025 at around 11:05 a.m. I was peacefully in my home when all of a sudden a gunshot rang through my house, went through my house from the outside into my dining room. All I could do was take cover, didn't know what was going on, and pray for the best. I then noticed that there was a hole in my wall. And you can pass that around there, so you all can see it. And noticed that someone had shot through my house. I called the police, they came out. And I'm not now at this point wanting to dwell too much into who did the shooting and all of that. I'm here to, my concern is about my safety in the community. My concern is about the sheriff's department and being a Black woman and the way that I feel that I was treated by the sheriff's department, preferably the names I will give you, Captain Block and Sergeant Stupkowski, and the way that I was treated. Officer Griffin was one of the officers that came out, okay? Initially, she indicated that the shot came from inside the house. And I didn't understand why she was saying that, but when the other officer showed up and then she said it again, I was preparing myself to be arrested that day because of what she was saying and the way that she was trying to change the narrative of what had occurred. I then had to tell her, would you please go outside the house and look to see what has occurred. You could see the shot going through my siding and through the wall. She then did that with the other officers. They were still skeptical, and I don't know why. It was very clear. And the other officer said, well, are you sure this wasn't something here from before? You know, have you been, I said, I walk around my house all the time. You know, I was sitting right there in real time where the shot rang through. I went to cover my head because I didn't know what was going on. But I had prepared myself because these officers had came into my house and dismissed what they saw and what I said, okay? And then they said, well, your neighbor next door didn't hear anything. I said, the only neighbor I saw out at that moment in time was the neighbor adjacent to me in the back, west side, that was out. Well, we'll go around and talk to him. He did admit to doing it, okay? Shooting squirrels, okay? In a residential neighborhood where you could square off and count your steps to the next house. We're not in the country. My life matters, okay? What I say matters. And it's a concern for me of the way that I was treated by the police department that is supposed to care. I'm a taxpayer. I've been paying my taxes for over 30 years in this area. When I contacted Sergeant Stock, he was angry with me for calling him. Why are you calling me, he said. I should have told him, because I pay my tax dollars that pays your income. But I didn't, because I wanted to get to the bottom of the source of what occurred, because my life matters. He was angry with me. He yelled at me, and I said, I feel that you're treating me this way because I'm Black and I'm a woman, and you're dismissing. And by the way, for full disclosure, I was in law enforcement and a police officer for 14 years before I retired out of that career, okay? So I know how things go, all right? in addition to, after I said that was unsettling the conversation with me, I'm trying to get a copy of the police report, what is going on? And he's yelling back at me, why are you calling me? I contact Captain Black. And I tell him I had a very disturbing conversation with Sergeant Stopp. I was concerned about when Officer Griffin came out and said the shots came from inside the house, and I'm the one that called, and you could see that it didn't. Thank God the neighbor fessed up and said he had done it. And I told him, I said, I do feel that you are dismissing me because I'm Black, I live in this neighborhood, and because I'm a woman. And he totally got angry with me and said, I'm not going to listen to that. You're not going to say that to me. No, that's how I feel, because guess what? On that particular day was the day that we had the incident that occurred at the high school. My neighbor, who happens to be a Black man, was walking his dog, and one of the officers from the sheriff's department ran up to him, why are you here? He said, huh? I'm walking my dog, just because we lived just adjacent from the high school. It's like, I'm just walking my dog. You could see the dog. What's your name? Where's your ID? He's like, well, I walk my dog every day. I don't normally have my ID, but, I know my, driver's license by heart. And he gives her that. And she's still angry with him. He didn't know why. And then told him, well, you just get on out of here. Get on out. Go on out of here.
See,
To be, and I'm sorry that I'm over the 3 minutes, but this is concerning to me. I pay my taxes, and I needed to speak about this because I do want to say one other thing. I did pay $10 for a copy of the police report. They cashed the check, but I'm still having a hard time getting a copy of that police report. So can somebody on this board please help me get a copy of that police report and help me with the situation? I think we need to deal with the issues surrounding why Captain Black and Sergeant Stock treated me the way that they did. Because no one in this community deserves to be, my life matters, okay? The squirrel's life matters. You don't go and, when I see the squirrels and the skunks and stuff, you get your mint out, you get the mothballs out, you don't go pick up a gun and start, let's put the guns down, people. And as you can see, the dining room, that's where me and my family eat dinner, okay? Thank you for listening.
thank you. If you want to stay through the meeting, we have a conversation afterward, too. Is there anyone else that would like to approach the board? All right, moving on. Number 8, we had the Freedom of Information Act appeal.
Hello, everybody. You have before you, there was a request for appeal of a Freedom of Information Act. We have a response that's been reviewed by legal counsel. At this point, after going through the materials and what was being requested, the request is that we respond and continue to uphold the denial based on the advice of counsel and the steps that have been taken with regards to managing this. It's a complicated piece, but we wanted to bring this before this body at the request of the party.
Is there any action needs to be done on this?
You would take the action to vote to uphold the appeal, and we would send the letter.
Okay. Who moved it? Commissioner Shaver moved it and supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any comments, discussions on it? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, we have committee reports and resolutions. First up is Public Works and Human Services with Commissioner Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Public Works met on January 14th. I have 2 items for tonight. First one is for resources recovery. Is a grant request for scrap tires. I go ahead and move that.
Support. Moved by Commissioner Barber, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any comments, support, or comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so the second thing I have is a budget amendment also for resource recovery. Budget amendment for the materials management plan, and I go ahead and move that.
Support. Moved by Commissioner Barber, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next up, we have Public Safety Committee with Commissioner Holmes.
We had our monthly Public Safety Committee meeting on January 8th, heard the department reports, and there are no action items.
Okay.
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next up is Ways and Means Committee with Commissioner DeRosa.
There, my mic's on. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had many things to discuss, and we have some action items for this evening. The first is item number 1, resolution to submit a vote to the electorate, an E-Tran renewal authorization question. Basically, it's a request to put the E-Tran millage back on the ballot in this upcoming November 2026, and I would move this.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Whitaker. I'll just remind everyone, the public, that this is a renewal. Commissioner Toomey.
That is exactly what I was going to say. I have no other comments.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Arndt.
At the same token, and I'm not advising anyone anything, any renewal that fails to pass will actually drop the property taxes for a good number of people, which is not a suggestion on my part to vote against this, considering how the majority, near as I can tell, of my constituents are extremely rural and could very well still have very much a good use for E-Tran. So I'm not telling any of them that they shouldn't vote for this. But it is all something to keep, one of the things to keep in mind.
Commissioner Barber.
Yes, I would just like to reiterate some of the things I said during the Ways and Means, right? Some of you commissioners weren't here at the Ways and Means, right? So I sit on the E-Tran board. This millage, it provides about 42% of the operating funds, right, for E-Trans. E-Trans gets federal funds, state funds, the millage, and then fares, right? That's how it operates. Like I stated at the Ways and Means, last year, without the Delta Route 3 extension, E-Tran did 90,867 rides. Okay, so that's quite a bit. And then it also transports Meals on Wheels every day from the distribution center, from the warehouse to the distribution sites where the volunteers come and pick up the meals, right? So in Eaton Rapids, that is the sheriff and fire station. They bring the meals there every day. And then once a month, if you request food from the Capital Area Food Bank, they go up there, they pick it up, and they deliver that food right to those people's houses. So I totally agree with you, Commissioner, that there are a lot of people in our community that are tight, budgets are tight and are hurting, but I think if we don't put this on the ballot, I think most of the commissioners will vote to put it on the ballot, but if we don't put it on the ballot and the the residents of this county don't pass it, there's going to be some detriment to the community. So.
Commissioner Arndt.
We should absolutely put it on the ballot because it absolutely should be a member decision directly for the constituents. It's just that it's a very complicated concern for each one of them, and I don't want to simplify it in the stakes in any respect. Oh, I do have one question about, the last time I used E-Tran was I was a literal child, so what's the fare now?
Commissioner Barber.
All right, so the fare for elderly seniors or disabled, it's $1, right? Veterans, it's free, and everybody else, it's $2, right? So that's one way, okay? And if you go outside the county, so if you start your ride here and you go into Ingham County for, let's say, a doctor's appointment, it's an additional $1 to go outside the county.
Any other comments or questions?
I would just like to note one thing. We talk about it being a renewal. This is a renewal. But with a renewal, there's a restoration. So this proposal actually is a renewal and the restoration of the rollback that we've sustained over the course of several years. So it's 0.2493 of a mil right now. What the request will be is 0.25, which is what's allowed to be allocated, but it's been rolled back. So just so that we're clear, it is a renewal, but technically a renewal and restoration.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, Commissioner Barber.
I would just like to add that E-Train has been operating off .25 since 1986. And I say operating very liberally, right? It's bare minimum, but it's been operating since '86 off the same millage. So,
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item number 2, resolution approving 2026 borrowing resolution for 2025 delinquent taxes, and I would move this resolution.
Support. Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item 3, Windsor Township Police Services Agreement update, and I don't have that information, so who does, Ben?
All right, so the discussions with Windsor Township are still ongoing for purposes of this committee. We had hoped that we would have an agreement that had been ratified by their township board. We do not at this time. Discussions are still ongoing, so we'd like to postpone it and give you monthly updates, and hopefully we'll have something for you next month. If not, we'll have a little bit more to share, but at this point, it has cleared public safety, ways and means. So for our side of the equation, this body would just have to move on that unless they presented changes, and we would present those back. So that's the update.
Thank you.
So, question, Ben, this won't have to go back through Ways and Means or Public Safety?
No, I don't believe so, because,
Okay,
yep.
all right, thank you. On to item number 4, resolution amending the Fisheries and Wildlife Grant Administration Fee Exception, and I would move this.
Support. Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item 5, resolution authorizing agreements with remonumentation surveyors, and I would move this also.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Haskell, or Pearl Wright. We'll give it to Jeannie. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 6, Delta Township Alert System Intergovernmental Agreement.
So you have before you, this agreement came through the policy process and Ways and Means. There was a lot of discussion about the administrative fee. We have updated the administrative fee with discussions with the township. They'd actually passed at 15%, so we've updated reflecting that amount in here. So it's the same agreement, just with the admin fee at that threshold.
This is an action item, correct?
Yes.
I would move it.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any questions or comments? All right, Commissioner Haskell, second it. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 7, Healthcare Savings Program Letters of Agreement. I think this goes back to Ben. I would move this.
We have a motion by Commissioner DeRosa, second by Commissioner Haskell. Okay,
Quick
question.
rundown is there was a change to the healthcare savings program, a voluntary measure where employees can contribute additional amounts above the required threshold. That opportunity was closed by our plan administrator, which we have no control over. So we're just offering to transfer 2 of our union groups onto the structure that the other 5 groups have, where it's a flat rate as opposed to a percentage-based. One group has already signed on. I'm awaiting confirmation from the other group. So this would just bring all of our union groups into alignment with the same structure.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, Ben, is it wise to approve this before we get a notification from the second union group?
No, to be honest, I think I would be shocked that they say no, because at this point, their members are just losing out on the opportunity to participate. So I really am very hopeful that the other group respond, but it's conditional on both parties being approved. So by you guys moving it, we won't move to implement. So for instance, if I don't hear from them until April, their members will just lose the opportunity of that additional piece, if that makes sense. So I think it's in everybody's interest, and I reached out to them again today, and I would anticipate, hopefully they'll get back to me before February so we can get the ball rolling on administering it.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 8, resolution to approve fiscal year 25-26 budget amendments, and I would move this resolution.
Been moved, is there a second? Commissioner Holmes, support. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And lastly, item 9 is to pay our bills, and I would move that we pay our bills this month.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Arndt. Any questions or comments? You guys are in sync over there. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And that, Mr. Chair, concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Commissioner DeRosa. Next up, we have Administrator's Report.
Yes, I wanted to touch base on something that came up in Ways and Means related to the funding that the county had received for $5 million for the Bank Intercounty Drainage District. If you recall, the state had appropriated $5 million, and it was used to pay before we bonded for the drainage debt. So that money went in. The bond that was issued was $5 million less. So the county, it reduced the cost of our assessment that we receive for drain at large. It reduced the assessment that the property owners received, and it reduced the assessment for Delta Township and the Road Commission. Road Commission and us share that drain at large. What happened when that appropriation was taken away, the county, we can go a million ways over this. This was a work project, and the work project that was done when we received the grant from MEDC was through September 30, 2027. So our grant agreement with MEDC says through September 30th, 2027. There is a clawback provision. There's language within those grant agreements that they can take that money back. I want to note first that the reason that $5 million was not spent immediately is that we're working with the contractor, the drainage district contractor, who is passing through the bills to the county. I want you to remember that you also approved ARPA funds that were used to offset these same expenses, those being on the county, and then bonded. And so this is a huge undertaking by the Controller's Office, the Drainage District, the construction. What they're working on is huge. So we're waiting to get invoices. Those invoices have been submitted as they come in. To date, I believe it is 2.12 million that has been submitted, not reimbursed. And again, it's the timing. So the state could say we had not submitted bills, but our plan and the grant that we proposed and was approved by MEDC was through 2027. And that's because it's a work project, which is what those funding appropriations were for. It's a work project. So the county has not sat on we haven't just sat here and not done anything. Work's being done. It was the equipment or the purchase of supplies that we were using. That is what was awarded under ARPA because it's concrete. You can actually submit an invoice and that's what the feds will reimburse. The same would be true for the state. We did file a grant amendment and never heard a word, and that was to convert this grant to be for any type of management for the construction. So if we could do anything with that, we would do it. We have not heard back. Obviously not heard back on the submissions that we had made. I say this because there was an AG opinion that said that that was not allowable. That was then blocked. But a lawsuit was filed, and then a judge overturned that or held it. We can't get any money. Can't talk. Can't get any of our money. We're still waiting to the outcome of any type of legal action going forward. The statement in the report that was provided by MERS indicated that this was an undue hardship. I'm going to get that right, wrong, Logan. That it was basically something that the state could not deal with on their end financially. Well, we have put into action everything that the county has done, these contractors have done, the drainage district, the assessments that were issued. Try and backtrack that. That is like almost impossible for Eaton County to go back on what are we going to do with that $5 million. And I'm going to tell you what happens with that. Either you're going to have savings by the contractors of $5 million, or we're back to the drawing board and bonding for an additional $5 million, and that $5 million then becomes assessments, again, to the county, to the road commission, to Delta Township, to the residents that received their first assessment in shock. We know that. So I just wanted to update you all on that. We're sitting in limbo. We have done what we feel is our job, and it's very frustrating for the amount of staff time that we have spent working on this, and it is an undertaking weekly in discussions and trying to get information from the contractor back and forth. It's a lot of work. So we've done what we needed to do. It is frustrating. This board submitted a letter to the state requesting for this not to occur. This board unanimously sent something, and I just wanted to update you. That's very disappointing. I say this as staff. I say it for the residents of the county. It's extremely frustrating. So just that's my update. That's my little bit of anger there. So thank you for listening to that. And then the other thing you've seen in the packet that I have decided to retire and go play with my puppy, who is 18 and almost a half years old, and my husband too. But so I did agree to a year, and I appreciate the board having renewed my contract for a year. Greatly appreciate that. Just based on so many different factors and talking with my family, it just was the right time for me to retire. Better for me, and I believe that over the last 3 years, I think that I've done a good job of setting this county up to run by itself, right? I think this board has done a great job. I look at the board and the actions that you took this last year, and I'm dumbfounded and in awe by what new commissioners took on at the start of the year with the budget. And I think that really put you on a good path forward, that you're strong and you're ready to set me free. With that, there's an agenda item under new business to discuss the controller administrator contract. I will say that for my portion of it, would require extending my employment through February 20th, unless you want to let me go now, through February 20th. They're shaking their heads. And then it would be the next steps in how you're going to fill the controller administrator. So that is my report, and thank you. You'll hear more from me at some other point, maybe at the end of the meeting. No.
I'll just state the letter I attempted to read Friday is in our packet from Connie. Excuse me. Next up is elected officials comment. Any elected officials here would like to make a comment? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up is commissioner comment. Any commissioners have any comments to make? Yes, Commissioner Whitaker.
Thank you. I just want to remind folks, my district is largely within the bank drain district. And people are, paying, thousands of dollars in drain assessments that they didn't plan on. But the other part of the cost of this drain is that everybody in the county is paying for this $5 million, right? Whatever it is, through your taxes. We are paying for the money that the county needs to put into the project. So it's not just the people in the bank drain district that are paying for it. It's everybody in the county that is being affected by this and changing the price tag for our project. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Yes, Commissioner Christensen.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to let the constituents or everyone in Eaton County know that Charlotte Public Works has put out a Facebook post, and I shared it. Being that the temperatures are very frigid right now, we do not have warming centers in Charlotte. Eaton Rapids Medical Center offers a warming shelter in their waiting room entrance B. And Eaton Rapids Area District Library, they provide a warm and safe daytime space with seating and water. The City of Lansing has on their website a list of several community centers and libraries that are offering warming centers as well. And then they also offer cooling centers in the summer. I just think it's really important right now that people know there is, I know some of it obviously is transportation, but even if they could get E-Tran to get them to Lansing and get to a CATA stop and then get to downtown, just to get out of the elements and get safe, they will provide you with food and shelter and clothing if needed. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Shaver.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to a couple of things really quick. I know that last month, the Maple Valley Public Schools Board came and presented the challenge that they're having with school resource officer and, in a greater way, police response to their location out in far western Eaton County. I was thankful to have a meeting with them as well as the sheriff, and hopefully in some way we can come up with some sort of solution. I'm hopeful from those meetings. Nothing to disclose right now, but I'm hopeful we can come up with some kind of solution that will meet what's a very viable need for them. Also, thankful, just kudos to our resource recovery department. I've had some meetings with them and the Village of Mulliken, and Jared and his team are doing a phenomenal work and job there, and look forward to some potential partnerships with the Village of Mulliken and Roxanne Township that will benefit the taxpayers there immensely. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Commissioner Toomey.
Thank you. I just wanted to touch on something Connie just touched on her report about the $15 million that the county had rescinded, taken from it, however you want to call it. you know, I appreciate Commissioner Christensen also mentioning the warming centers. It is very cold. I'd like to remind folks that that $5 million for the Bank Intercounty drain was extremely important. It also had millions going to the Eaton Rapids Medical Center that does support those warming centers. I mean, this is a huge loss for our community. I very well think that, you know, and I don't have any insider knowledge on it, but I mean, this could get appealed all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court. We can't really rely on this money at this point with the injunction or whatever it's officially called from the courts. Is that what it's? All right, I'm there. I'm not a lawyer, so you know, I think it's a huge loss for our community. I think we should all keep advocating as hard as we can as commissioners, because it's going to affect every corner of the community. There was money for Windsor, Grand Ledge, Charlotte, Eaton Rapids. I mean, it was everywhere, Delta. And it's really, really disappointing to see that even after this mistake was made by the Michigan House Republicans who rescinded this money, we've still gone back and fought this in court when we had an opportunity to right that after this decision. So I would also like to say, before we get to the discussion in new business, a big thank you to Connie for 38 years of service with the county. I'm sure we will talk more about that under item 15, but just wanted to say thank you. So.
Thank you.
Commissioner Whitaker, or Pearl Wright.
Okay. This is to let you all know that yesterday our lobbyist, Michigan Association of Counties, did another one of their podcast 83s. So I'm just letting the commissioners, not really the public, I mean, the public can do it if they want, but they did talk about, they're so unsure. 3 of our lobbyists and the director were on, and I did mention it to Mr. Dawson. We're just having a really hard time planning. And they're right in the Capitol, and they can't give us a direct answer. So, and they covered other subjects. It was only like 14 minutes or something, but if you want to watch it, it was pretty interesting this week.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, I also want to thank Commissioner Christensen for bringing up warming centers. Delta Township usually will have a post go out on their social medias with the various churches and businesses that stay open for warming centers. So to the residents in the area, keep an eye out for that. And to Commissioner Toomey's point about the money that was clawed back from Eaton County, you know, I've spoken to some of our local, or sorry, not our local, but our state elected officials and voiced my displeasure with that. I know at least one of the representatives that touches Eaton County has also been appointed to this Michigan Doge group or whatever. So if you have access to that representative, I would encourage you to reach out and, you know, voice how hurtful this is for the county.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Haskell, or Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to let the commissioners know I'm holding a information meeting tomorrow night at the Shellac Community Library on the Brown Drain, which is in Carmel Township and also in Walton Township at 7 o'clock in the evening. So if any commissioners would like to come, we're going to have the representatives from the drainage drain office, plus a couple of the engineers that are working on the project. And of course, some of the problems we're having is at 5 Point with the road commission waiting for details on getting that project accomplished too later this year. But I just wanted to make the residents of that drain district aware of what may be coming down the road here in the near future concerning the proposed changes and clearing of drains to make that work for the drainage district. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for putting that together to help a lot of the residents better understand the project and what's expected. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on. Next is unfinished business.
None.
No unfinished business. Any old business?
None.
No old business, so that brings us to new business. So first, you're up with the extension.
So, yes, so my contract expired January 17th. And I've continued to work even though I told you all I'm leaving. So to extend my employment, I would call it, not a contract, but extend my employment under the current terms of that contract, the ending terms of that contract through February 20th. And then I can work on transitioning with staff to move us into the future, move Eaton County into the future. So I would request that, if it's agreeable, that the board do that, and then we can move on to how you want to proceed with filling the position.
So moved by Commissioner Barber, supported by Commissioner Toomey. Any questions or comments regarding extension for Controller Selby? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Do you want me to keep talking?
Sure.
So 3 years ago, you went through a process and you got to hire me. So it was a successful process. Let's look at it that way. The way that it was handled the last time was to form a committee that would interview, and it was chosen by the board to interview just me because I had been the deputy administrator for years. And so I was given the opportunity to interview first. After passing through that grueling exercise,
Remember that?
yeah, I was appointed as the controller. So that is an option that you have. It would be to go through an interview process with your deputy controller administrator. I have been obviously working with Ben since he started. He started 2 months after I became controller administrator, and we're side by side working together. I mean, he's learned from almost the best. So that is your option. Your other option would be to go out and hire a consultant to do a search for you. You could just put out for applications. It's a longer process, and you can place Deputy Dawson in the position interim. But in the short term, the one thing that you do need to do is to appoint someone interim. And that would be logical based on stability, that it would be Ben Dawson. Otherwise, you're not going to have that stability that we've formed. I don't know if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll say a few things. We had this conversation, I think I called most of you probably a few months ago or what, I don't remember when, but I think when you first brought up that you were thinking about leaving us. And just to get everyone's feel and their concerns or agree or disagree about Deputy Dawson taking over, and I think pretty much everyone agreed that he'd be a good fit. I also want to reiterate that, and Ben has put a lot of his time into this county, a lot of his personal time into this county. When we went in and spoke to a lot of the townships and different groups and organizations, Ben was there to inform the public about that tax limitation millage that was put on the ballot, okay? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do any of it. He could just show up in the morning when he was, and work during working hours. But he has proven, at least to me, that his heart is in this, not just for the job, but for the residents of this county. And it is my desire, it's obviously up to the board, but it's my desire to move Ben into that position. But however, I would like to do the same exact thing we did for Connie. And so I have created a committee with Vice Chair DeRocha, Commissioner Haskell, and Commissioner Prowright to be on that committee to do interviews, or to interview Deputy Dawson. But I want to open it up to everyone and their thoughts, ideas about this. Commissioner Toomey.
Thank you. I agree that Deputy Dawson has been an incredible asset to the team here at Eaton County, so I'd like to thank you again for all of your work. I have done, I guess I won't, including Connie when I was at the village, I think this will be my third or fourth administrative changeover at the head of a municipality. I am strongly in favor of appointing Deputy Dawson as the interim director today. I strongly encourage him to apply to the job posting as well, but I would like to see us do a search. And I would like us to interview multiple, candidates that, or maybe there are no other qualified candidates, but I think that we should do that search. So that's kind of where I'll leave things off to kick off the conversation. But like I said, I would strongly encourage then interim director Dawson to apply for that role.
I think it's going to be upwards of about $25,000 to hire a firm.
Yeah.
On the package, you can, take the bronze, silver, or
Which consultant firm were you?
We would have to do an RFP to
Okay.
find a firm.
I was just curious if you were using, I forget, I was just trying to see if it remembered to who we used at the village when I was there. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, MML is a really good one that does a lot of regional searches. Then you have Double Hall, which does a lot of smaller community searches. They ran, I think, the Meridian Township, I believe, and then DeWitt Township here recently. So there are a lot of local players. So if that's what the board wanted to do, you'd develop your RFP, put it out there. They typically send in responses. When I was in East Lansing, I was helping to develop the RFP for the city manager search there. And you'll get 4 or 5 parties that submit and say, you can get this much for 15, this much for 20, and then you kind of go through and evaluate the best pick for your community. Time-wise, you're probably looking 6 to 9 months, depending, because they'll want to come in, do like focus groups, meet with community stakeholders, do a position profile, put it out there. So it's a process. Part of that too is this position has been part of the pay scale. So inevitably, a thing to keep in mind, once you do that, you kind of break this position off of your pay scale because you now are going to have to do a pay analysis for your competitors in the area, which is not uncommon. Most executives in a municipality do not exist on the pay scale with all the other employees because it's a contracted position. But just know that would be a reality. Barry recently went through a search for their administrator. They were able to get a city manager who we've met, very nice man. So kind of if anybody has friends on the Barry board, you could probably ask them what that experience was like if you wanted to pick their brains.
Any other thoughts on this? Comments? Commissioner Shaver?
Yeah, I'm very thankful, first of all, for Controller Sobey's contribution to the county. It's wonderful. And, I'm the newest person on the board. Very thankful for everything that Assistant Controller Dawson has been able to do for us. I do have confidence in him to be able to take leadership as an interim. I do agree with Commissioner Toomey on the thought of opening this up for more applicants, just because I think that we owe it to our constituents to make sure that we have the best person in that role. I guess my question is that I don't have an answer to. Do we have to go through a search firm in order to open it up for applicants?
You don't have to, but do you know who reviews our applications? So, I mean, we don't have a separation there where we have an HR department that does that. So, a consultant would be the way to go so that it is, fair, consistent. I mean, that would be the best option if you're going to go out.
Okay.
Commissioner Christensen, then Commissioner DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to point out that I did hear MML brought up about the search for that, and they are good, but they're expensive because they're going to be based on what the salary of that position is. a percentage of that. And so if that's the route that the board takes, I think I would do some investigating on other groups as well.
What are your thoughts?
The city used Pivot. I don't know that I'm so sold on that one either. I'd have to investigate a little bit, I guess.
Okay. Commissioner DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am confident that Ben would treat this without bias. I mean, he's a pretty level-headed guy, so there's no conflict of interest if he's looking. But no, seriously, I think before we look at hiring someone, we need to take a look at our chain of succession here at the county and how many, by moving one person, how many vacancies do we open up in that domino effect before we hire a consulting group? Because we may find out that we've got to have a consultant look through 3 or 4, maybe 5 positions, depending on how things work out. So I think that should be part of our discussion sometime in the near future as to what this would entail. We don't have a we don't have a large staff, and I don't want to complicate things by dragging this out either. I mean, we've got too many things going on this year, and so my 2 cents worth.
Commissioner Barber, then Commissioner Toomey.
Yeah, so when's the job posting go out for the new deputy? Because a lot of times what we hear from the controller's office is, we're short-staffed, we don't have enough. So you take out the one person, right? Even if we just move Ben over and then we do a search, the productivity of that department is gonna decrease, what, 50? I don't know, you know? But, so when's the job posting go out for the deputy? Because we need to hire a new deputy
I'll say.
for the 20th.
What happened when Controller Sobey took over, and it's usually the controller's decision on who to hire for the deputy, and Controller Sobey hired Ben, which was crazy smart move, in my opinion. So we have Ben because of Connie. So, Commissioner Toomey.
Yeah, I'd just like to clarify 2 earlier things as well. My memory is coming back to me a little bit on these processes of searching for a candidate. We consulted with a search firm or a consultancy group both times that we had a manager changeover or a controller changeover. They're analogous but different words. And we hired one of the times that when I was there, I actually left before the second hiring was complete to step into this position, but was hired not from somebody found by the search firm, and the second time was a hiring of someone that was found through the search firm. And I would say that that was still a valuable process for us. Yes, it costs money. Some of these things cost money. That's just kind of how it goes. But I think it is still valuable to make sure that we are being competitive salary-wise, all these types of things. And like I said, one time it worked out that there was a local person, somebody that knew the community that could step into that role. The second time it was somebody from a search firm that then moved into that community. Both of them brought great things, and I think that that should in no way be a reflection on Deputy Dawson's abilities. Like I said, I feel very confident that he could be the person that we would like to elevate into that role permanently. And I would also like to say, if Deputy Dawson is willing to take on the interim position, I'm not worried about rushing that process personally. I understand. I do agree. I see your point about hiring a deputy and the productivity of the office and just on your workload as well. But I think that we're in good hands. I don't feel a need to rush it. I think it's probably nice for this board to have permanence, and I'm sure Ben would like permanence as well, to know sooner rather than later. Also, we were a smaller municipality, right? When we did this, I can tell you it didn't take 6 to 9 months when we did it. But once again, that's kind of been my experience with the process, and I think a lot of people that have sat on other boards have had to go through this before. And I think I'm still in favor of opening up that process and finding a firm. I would like to see us do it through a firm, just because I believe that it can help us have a wider reach. Like folks are able to pull candidates that that would otherwise not see our own listing, or you know, they can be recruited and you know, told like that they are a good fit for these roles. So that's kind of where I'll leave that.
Commissioner Arndt, and then Commissioner Christensen, then Holmes.
By and large, I'd like to echo the opinions and statements by Commissioners DeRosa and Barber, but more loudly, I'd like to express appreciation to the deputy and our controller for being very quick on getting back to me about just about every question I've had regarding all of these numbers that we're dealing with, and even institutional history regarding why it is we're doing certain things that seem obviously questionable on the surface. But then you look at it and say, oh, this is why we do it. This is why it has to be done this way. And we we definitely need to know why it's done that way. And I'd like to thank you all for providing that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Christensen.
Thank you. So I have not been here, obviously this just being my second year coming in, for a hiring within the controller's office position. So I guess I need a little enlightenment. Connie would be done February 20th. You had suggested a panel of the three to do an interview process with Ben. What's the chances of doing that, bringing your results to the board, and then making an executive decision at that time? Instead of just jumping right into voting on a search firm or something like that.
We could do that, but if the board is already set on going outside, then that whole process is kind of mute.
So how do we take a vote as a board tonight on if they want, I mean, you could do A, which is have your committee interview Ben, or B, I mean, like Commissioner Barber said, either way, we're going to have a person to fill Ben's spot.
That, we could do that if the board is agreeable to that process.
And then if Ben goes back to that spot, if we end up having to hire someone on the outside, would Ben go back to that deputy position after, if he was?
He would probably leave.
No,
I'm being honest.
I wouldn't
wouldn't
blame
stay.
him. I mean,
I would not stay.
I get it.
I'm being true.
That's why I'm trying to find different scenarios.
I was gonna bring this up anyway, but I want to give you guys a little taste or understanding what's happening in the controller's office. They are so understaffed and so behind. You have one thing come up in a day that takes up an unexpected, I mean, just recently, had something that came up, took better part of 2 days. They had to shift everything that they were doing that was a priority and restack it, and that goes on constantly. There was no way, and I'm telling you, there was no way, when county leaves, there was no way this controller's office is going to be able to keep up with all of our requests. There's 15 of us. Now, it may only be just a short little thing that you're requesting of the office, but there's 15 of us. Besides that, they have to keep this place running. And if we go through 9 months of just Ben and no deputy, they have been down 2 people probably for the better part of, what, 3 years or more? And they've been making it work. I'm just telling you, we go through this process. We've already got, in my opinion, and I think most of your opinion too, I think I understand why you want to go through the process. I get it for the public, for the look. But we already have someone, we are blessed to have someone in staff right now to take over, to move in, knows exactly what's going on here with every single detail of this county. I mean, right now. I don't see how we're gonna be able to function for 9 months with all the institutional knowledge that Controller Sobey has gone and leaving it up to Ben as interim. If it were me, I'd be a little insulted. I understand the board. I understand what you would like to do, because it's good look for the public. But I'm just being honest about what's gonna happen here. We've already got boards, if you've been following, you've got boards where the, either council or the board members have driven out staff. And we're getting to that because they're so overwhelmed. So I just want to let you guys know the situation. So this is, if we go this route, I'm just telling you, we are headed towards maybe a bigger problem. Commissioner Whitaker.
Thank you. So what do you recommend that we do, Chairman Mott?
I recommend that we do the exact same thing we did with Controller Sobey. We all knew that she was more than qualified to step into this position, and she's proven herself over time and time again. And she has been the best mentor possible for someone like Ben, who, in my opinion, is, in some aspects, a little overqualified. He could probably go somewhere and make a lot more money. But he loves, I know, I've seen it, he loves this place. He wants to help the residents. And he's invested his personal time. Commissioner Barber.
Yeah, I would just, thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to remind all the commissioners that it's a one-year contract. So next year, if you got complaints, but as of right now, I make a motion that we appoint Ben as the comptroller. Effective 20 February.
Okay. It's been moved that we put Ben in as the controller and supported by Commissioner Hanson. More questions, comments? Commissioner Haskell.
So does that mean that there's not going to be the interview process that you were speaking of? Or?
No, because the motion is to move Ben into the controller's office when she leaves.
I think we need to have a committee.
The interview process?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to amend that motion? Okay. Commissioner Christensen.
No offense to Commissioner Pro-Wright, but I'm going to disagree because Ben's been here. Ben's done the job. As you said, he's had a great mentor. I mean, what is sitting with 3 people in a room asking him questions going to do? He's going to answer the questions. No offense to you either, Ben, but I'm blunt and I'm open. He's going to answer the questions the way that you're going to want to hear them. You know his history. You know his work ethic.
I totally agree. That it was procedural idea, because that's what we did with Controller Sobey, so that was basically was going to go down that same path. But Commissioner Toomey.
All right, so a couple things I am a little frustrated by with how this process is going. One, I don't think it's, quote, a good look for the public. It's our jobs, it's what we're here to do. That's our responsibility, and I understand if the board votes that they don't want to do that, that's okay. But that's part of this process. So it's not a good look to just go out and do these things. It's a very common, normal thing to do to find good talent for the community. Secondly, I don't like the fact that this is being pitted as you're either, with Deputy Director Dawson, against Deputy Director Dawson. I think Deputy Director Dawson is very capable. I have enjoyed working with him. I do, however, still think it is our responsibility as a board to utilize the resources we have available to go out and do a full search and at least do the interview. Once again, I would say too, this is government. It's not a private business. And you're saying, oh, these are all just procedural things for looks. These procedures exist for a reason, because we are government and we are accountable to people. It's not a private business that we all go home and make our own decisions. That's not how this works. And once again, if I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted. But that's what I'd like to say. It's not a comment on Deputy Dawson's character or ability to do any of these things. And I do have faith in that committee to interview 5, 10, whatever, however many people they end up finding if you do a formal process, and to pick the best one, which very well, like I said, could be Deputy Director Dawson. I have faith in that committee. If you're telling me that everybody's mind is already made up anyways, and, you know, you just want to do the process to do the process, I mean, I guess, like, why are we having this conversation? I mean, you can just ram through the vote, I guess. So that's all I have. I'm just saying these things exist for a reason, because we are government and not a private entity, so we have more restrictions on how we should and should not do things procedurally. So that's all I have.
Commissioner Arndt, then Commissioner Holmes.
Can't say that my mind is made up on it, and I mean, the vote will be coming up in the next few minutes. But what questions would we have for Deputy Dawson that haven't been answered in terms of?
Well, I'll just give you a little example of some of the questions and things we did with Controller Sobey. So when we first came in, we just wanted to know what direction she had for the county, what her plans were. Obviously, the controller prior ran things quite differently than Connie has, okay? For those that have been here know full well that one of my, and it was going to be my first term as chair, and one of my very important ideas was communication, because there was a lack of communication prior to that. And she had brought in a big binder, opened it up. These are the things, and these are the things I want to do as controller. I mean, we were already pretty sold, but after that, we were really sold, okay? And that's pretty much the process that we would do with Deputy Dawson as well. Say, hey, what is your idea for this county? What do you see happening? You know, and just kind of go through those points that you would go through with any interview. So, Commissioner Holmes.
It seemed like we've interviewed him for about 3 years now, and I think we know what it is. And I would call for the question.
Okay. Called to question by Commissioner Holmes, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. We could vote, I think we need a 2/3, if I remember right, we need a 2/3 vote for call to question. Which would be 10.
That's fine. If everybody else is done, we can call it.
So, Clerk Bosworth, would you do a roll call for the call to question?
And can you be clear on the motion, please? It's no interview right now.
Call for the question stops.
This is just call to question. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Commissioner Shaver,
Yes.
Commissioner Arndt,
Yes.
Commissioner Peak,
No.
Commissioner Haskell,
Yes.
Commissioner Prowright,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Mudry,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Drosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen, Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Barber, Chairman Mott.
Yes. Okay, that's been passed. So the next up is the vote on the resolution to move Ben Dawson. No?
Yeah,
Your motion?
it's a motion.
Okay. The motion to move Deputy Dawson into the controller's position has been seconded by Commissioner Hanson. We probably should do a roll call vote.
Yes, you should. I do want to point out one thing. The controller didn't used to be under a contract. When I took the job, I wanted a contract. One was to protect the county, because that's what I do, to make sure that we didn't have just a 2-week out, which is what would have happened under the prior controller. He could have left 2 weeks, he's out of here. So I wanted it to be a 90-day out. You still have to have a contract, and I believe that Mr. Dawson would want a contract. I would recommend a contract, and I would recommend that the Board of Commissioners have a contract. So an appointment that would be done today would be you appointing him and directing us to develop a contract that would go to Ways and Means in February. So I just want to be clear that you still have, it's two. You can make the appointment, but there's not a contract yet.
Okay. Should we have a motion, do we amend that motion then?
No, I just want to be clear. So you're making the appointment, but, and you can make his pay go up right now. So during the period of time transition, you can do that. But he still needs a contract. So you'd be voting on a contract with him separately after this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Commissioner Barber said it's 1 year.
Contract would be separate, but if he's saying 1 year, if that's his motion is to say 1 year, that's what you would be doing, and that's the contract that we would draw up, that would come back to the board.
Commissioner Arndt?
When would we be voting on that contract? Would we be voting on that contract, February?
Yes.
It'll go to Ways and Means.
In February?
Yes.
Can you just really specifically clarify what we're voting on, the pieces that we're voting on?
We are voting on to move immediately Ben Dawson to the controller position. And then we will be, then we will have another vote on a contract. Okay. Commissioner Haskell.
So would that mean that Connie's done today then, or do we still get you to the end of February?
They already approved.
We
these
approved.
things. I mean, I can walk out after.
Well, that's my point, is that the idea was that we were leaning into this with the interview process for transparency and thoroughness, but that now I wasn't sure if that changed your trajectory.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Okay, well, actually, we moved to close.
Point of order.
Yeah, so that's on me, that's my fault. Discussion was over. So we need to do a roll call. Clerk Bosworth, roll call, please.
Commissioner Shaver.
No.
Commissioner Arndt.
No.
Commissioner Peak.
No.
Commissioner Haskell.
No.
Commissioner Pearl Wright.
No.
Commissioner Whitaker.
No.
Commissioner Moudry.
No.
Commissioner Jones. No. Commissioner Drosha.
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey.
No.
Commissioner Hanson.
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Barber. Yes. Chairman Mott.
Yes. So the motion fails. Okay, what's our next move? Commissioner Haskell.
Mr. Chair, I think I'd like to make the motion that we continue with your initial plan to do an interview process with Ben, form that committee. And
Support.
Okay.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Haskell, supported by Commissioner Peak. Okay. So what, so just so I understand, so we'll go through this process with Deputy Dawson and then come back to Ways and Means with our recommendation. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay. So any questions, comments? Commissioner Toomey.
I'd like to say I'm at least significantly happier with that process. You know, I would say, we could say the same thing. We could say, oh, we've been interviewing Deputy Director Dawson for 3 years, and we could say we've been interviewing Connie for 35, and she still got the opportunity to lay out her vision for the county, and I don't think there's any guarantee that the Deputy Director's vision is the same as Connie's, and that's okay. That's not a dig, that's not a bad thing. But I think it should at least be everybody's on this board prerogative to get to hear what that is and have that go through committee, because that's our job. Once again, that's our job to flesh these things out. Could be the same as Connie's, could be different. I'm not one to judge. Well, I guess until after we hear it. No, but, you know, that's all I want to say. This is better. I understand, you know, if this is how we want to move forward, I can be supportive of this motion, so.
Commissioner Christensen.
So the committee would be the three that you had mentioned before, I'm assuming still?
Yes,
Okay, and then,
there's 4 included with me.
okay, and then who, is it gonna come back to us with
Wait.
your recommendation after Ways and Means?
Yep.
But then who's gonna negotiate that contract? Is that gonna be discussed in the
That'll go to
committee?
Ways and Means as well, and then to the full board.
And then will it be just a 1 year at that point as well, or will it be,
That's part of the negotiation and part of the contract.
okay?
Any other questions, comments? Commissioner Toomey.
All right. Last thing, and then I'm zipping it. I would say that I am still disappointed in just how this was talked about, and I would hope that the people on this committee aren't going in with preconceived notions and doing it as a charade, as a, gesture to the public or whatever. Like, please just,
I don't think anybody takes this not seriously, because this is the county and this is the residents. So I'll, at least from my perspective, I take it very seriously.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Peak?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad we took this next step. It felt rushed, and I want to make sure we're doing the right thing here. I have complete faith in Ben, but I want to make sure we're doing the right thing here for the public. So I appreciate this additional step.
Thank you. Commissioner Arndt?
It's been reminded to me that the interview apparently should be public under 15268(1)(f) in the Open Meetings Act. I'm not an expert in that, so, but I'm asking.
No, because it's not a majority of the board. Commissioner Haskell?
I think members should be reminded that if they're giving or receiving text messages in the middle of meetings, that is also open to the Opens Meeting Act and can be FOIA'd.
I'm taking that risk,
Okay.
and always have. I've taken that risk in 4 years.
Excuse me.
Oh, I apologize.
I just think it's something that needs to be reminded.
Agreed.
Commissioner Barber?
Yeah, I would just like to remind the commissioners, you had an opportunity to put that in the rules, but, my attendance rule was, trivial, huh?
Okay, are we ready to vote? Commissioner Toomey?
I just wanted to my understanding, we still, I think we should still, onto that resolution, assuming the position does not get filled in time. If it does not get filled in time, would you be open to a friendly amendment to appoint Deputy Director Dawson as director, by Connie's retirement date, assuming if it doesn't get filled, just to have that layer in there?
I think
Or
that's...
interim director. Sorry, did we already motion for that separately, or
No.
should we do that? I'll defer to administration on if it should be done or not. I'd just like to have it in, do we need to appoint somebody as interim?
Yes, I mean, I think you should have someone appointed.
Okay, I'd like to tack that onto to the resolution then.
Okay. The motion is to have the interview with Deputy Ben Dawson with the notion that he's also going to be interim. Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Shaver.
Yes.
Commissioner Arndt.
Yes.
Commissioner Peak.
Yes.
Commissioner Haskell.
Yes.
Commissioner Pearl Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Whitaker.
Yes.
Commissioner Moudry.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Drosha. Commissioner Toomey.
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson.
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
No.
Commissioner Barber. Commissioner Mott. Chairman Mott.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, there was one other issue we needed to cover, right? No, we just did that, okay. It's been a while. I do want to, when we're doing, excuse me, new business, I do want to bring to the attention, this is for commissioners, but also for employees here. And this has to be brought up every once in a while because we have situations like this. So recently, we've had employees email. You've all received email from employees. So to employees, please, we have a process here. And it's very much like, I wasn't in the military, but it's very much like chain of command. When that chain of command is broken, there are a lot of issues that take place. There's mistrust. There's a lot of things when employees go directly to commissioners and commissioners go directly to employees. There's a lot of information that we're not aware of. The controller's office is. So the process for this at the county is for directors, employees to go to the controller's office, and then the controller's office brings it to us through committee or however means necessary. And that should be the same process for us as commissioners. When we go directly to employees, we do not have all the information that the controller has. And by doing so, it also sends a message to the controller's office that you don't trust them or they're incompetent. So please, let's keep that procedure in place, because I understand once you have the ear of an employee here, it doesn't stop. And I'm not trying to be mean, that's just the way it is. There's procedures there to protect both sides. When we walk into an office here as a commissioner, the director or whatever, like, oh, it kind of puts them back a little bit, because it puts them in an awkward place, because they know or should know the procedure. So it's going to go to the controller's office anyway. And so when that happens, there's kind of a mistrust that happens. So let's try to be aware of that. And just because I want to bring it up, because it, obviously, we've all received some emails. And so, and we shouldn't be reaching out to employees. That's the controller's job. That's what we pay them for. So, is there anything under new business? Okay. That brings us to our second limited public comment. If you'd like to address the board, please approach the podium and keep your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Hello, again, my name is Crystal Perry, and I would like to say that I am a HR professional with over 25 years, and just to hear the conversation this evening about the controller's office and the transition and everything else, you know, sometimes the grass is not greener on the outside. Please don't use my tax dollars to go outside and get a search committee. That is my recommendation. You have somebody that's been working in the office, looks like they have had a good study under Connie, and please listen to what some of these people on the committee are saying as to what a good transition would be, so that things don't continue to fall through the cracks in that office. And I think, Ben, I don't know you, but just from what I heard here today, it sounds like you would fall into place good here and make everything continue to keep running, staying afloat. But I would also suggest that maybe someone from that office that could also be on that, make it inclusive, that could also be on that committee when you guys make a decision for the interview that will take place. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes. Clerk Bosworth.
I should have spoken at elected official comments, but I just wanted to say that I appreciate so much that Ben has come to this county. He's helped elected officials tremendously. Me and my staff have benefited so much from your being here and your expertise. And I know you don't have to stay here, but I really hope that you'll be our next controller.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing none. With that, we are going to adjourn to February 18th.